We are live at 5 here on the Extra Yard on the 5 Reasons Sports Network, brought to you by You Break Wheel Fix, Prize Picks, and BetterEdge.com. And man, you get your wheels fixed and customized at You Break. You get your action tonight on Prize Picks and Better Edge because we got the Heat and Panthers in action. And really big news, Troy, not only locally but nationally, is part of the Miami Dolphins schedule leaking. So before we get into that, Troy Stradford, former Miami Dolphins running back. How are you, sir? It's been a minute.
I'm great. It's been a little while since we've been on here. I don't think we've been on since
The draft?
the draft took
Yeah.
place. So
Yeah.
yeah. So whatever you got, let's talk about it.
Well, I waited a bit to have you back. In reality, we couldn't match up our schedules the last couple
I
of
was
weeks,
out of
but
town.
it's
You
all
out of
good.
town.
But then
All
I
of
was
that.
going to say there was really not much point talking to you after the draft because you don't like the draft anyway. So, there wasn't really a whole lot of
No,
a point to
I
that.
don't. I don't like the draft because I went in the fourth round.
Yeah.
Now,
But
if
you
I went in
saw
the first round, I would love the draft.
the Dolphins drafted a running back in the third round, and I like him.
And I
A-Chain
said
from Texas A&M, he's good.
And I really like him. I like his game and understand where the NFL is going when it comes to the running back position. I'm sitting there saying, all right, you could find running backs, right? And so I like that this guy could catch the ball out of the backfield. He's very shifty. Actually, reading about him reminded me a lot of myself.
Yes.
I've never put my eyes on him and watched him in the game and paid attention to him. But I'm sitting there saying, that sounds familiar. So I'm definitely pulling for the young man.
Yeah, he was a guy I had to study him a lot last year because the Miami Hurricanes faced Texas A&M in the third week. And so I had to learn a lot about A-Chain, and he was good in that game against Miami. He scored a touchdown in that game. So I'm happy he gets to be on my side and not going up against my team the next time I watch him play.
So how did he do against the Canes?
He did well. He scored a receiving touchdown in the game, and I remember him running pretty well and being a guy that Miami had difficulty containing. So
yes,
hopefully that's going to be the case for Miami's opponents. But big schedule news is they're doing these strategic leaks with portions of the NFL schedule.
yes.
So in the long history of the National Football League, where they've been doing Thanksgiving games as long as we can remember, and they recently added a third Thanksgiving game within the last 10 years or so. Now, Troy, they're adding a Black Friday game. For the first time ever, they're going to be playing a Black Friday.
Time out.
What?
So what are they trying to break up marriages here? I mean, what? Or is that perfect? The wife goes shopping, and the husband gets to stay home as opposed to having to go shopping, and he can watch football. Maybe it's a perfect thing. I don't know. I gotta think about that now.
Well, I'll tell you how it's going to go for a lot of husbands out there. There's going to be a lot of husbands waiting in line at Brandsmart or Best Buy with their wife, and they're sneaking looks at their phone because they're streaming the game, and the wife is shooting them dirty looks while they're streaming the game while they're shopping. I think there's going to be a lot of that going on. But yeah, it's going to be Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets in the Big Apple on Black Friday. So that is going to be quite a showdown, Troy. And I found out about it this morning. I don't know why I still watch Get Up on ESPN because Mike Greenberg, his awful NBA takes and his New York Jets love, it annoys the hell out of me. But he starts going crazy because Aaron Rodgers is going up against the Dolphins on Black Friday. So we're getting the Tua versus Rodgers showdown. And, that's late November. So, who knows what the standings are going to look like. But can you imagine if the Dolphins and Jets are right in the playoff picture and fighting for the division at that time? That's going to be interesting.
Because that'll be deep into the season at that point. And so you hope that both teams are or have been successful throughout the season. And it's a big game. And all players, every single player loves when they have the game, that one game, no one else is playing. It's just us. All eyes will be on us. So on Thursday, it'll be all about college football, right? And then Friday, the Miami Dolphins come to play. And I mean, you can't ask for better. Oh, Donna, oh, I thought my computer shut off.
No, you're good.
When you think about it, right? The way I think about it, I heard earlier today that the Miami Dolphins have the #1 toughest schedule. Now, I didn't go on and do my homework myself.
Wow.
But a guy earlier today I was talking to, he's like, Troy, did you see that the Miami Dolphins have the toughest schedule, ranked in the National Football League? And I go, okay, I like that. He goes, you like that? I go, hell yeah, I like that. Because, and I said this to you before, I love when there is a difference, 100% difference, when you are playing against a team that is your peer by the experts or by yourself or ranked higher than you. You are more focused throughout the week of preparation. And so I look at the Miami Dolphins and I'm sitting there saying, okay, you got to play against Aaron Rodgers twice. You got to play against Josh up there and Josh Allen in Buffalo twice, right? The Patriots are always tough. You got to play against Bill Belichick.
And Troy, another one, you got to play against Pat Mahomes in the defending Super Bowl champ as well. That's going to happen. And that's another pretty juicy nugget on the Dolphins schedule. So they're going to take on, away from home, Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Do you know where that game's going to be?
No.
Frankfurt, Germany.
Get out.
Yeah, they're playing in Germany.
I want to go.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Do you have any room on the private plane for me?
Yeah, I don't have a private plane.
Oh, you don't? All right, never mind then. I don't fly commercial anymore, Troy. I only bum rides on private jets.
That game is in Germany.
Yeah, week 9.
I'm seriously sitting here saying, all right, how can I contact the Miami Dolphins and see how I could get on there somehow, get over there? I need to call my boy OJ McDuffie. I'm sure he's going somehow, some way.
Well, here's what you need to do. I'm sure he is, and he works on the broadcast as well.
Yeah.
You need to get a spot, and then you need to, just for one weekend, hire me as your personal assistant and say I cannot travel abroad without my personal assistant, and you can sneak me over there.
I would love to do that because I spent a little time in Amsterdam. Right, I played over in Amsterdam. I played in preseason games in London in Wembley Stadium. So I enjoyed my time over there. Like, the passion for football over there is completely different than the passion here because we have ties to everything. But what we don't, or a lot of people don't realize here in the States, is that they are loyal over there. At some point, they took a liking. They saw a football game. They took a liking. And way back when I played, Dolphins were one of the few teams that went over there. And there was so many Dolphin fans that just loved that from over there in that area. So I kind of like it. I like that a lot. And I like that we're not going to Kansas City to play that game. Are we the home team?
Oh, that's
I'm not sure who's designated the home team. So I don't know if that game would have been in Miami or if that game would have been in Kansas City. But
I don't know. So I'm gonna guess Kansas City's the home team because this is the Miami Dolphins tweeted about this game, and then they said, so they tweeted, pack your bags, we're going to Germany, Dolphins versus Chiefs. So if you and I'm guessing from the official Dolphins Twitter account, if they put the Chiefs last, that means they're the home team, I think. So we don't lose that home game.
You're right. So we have the Black Friday game, day after Thanksgiving, only team or only game in town, right? Now we have a game in Germany. That's the early game. That game will start at 9 o'clock in the morning here. That's the only game on TV. I kind of like that. I'm sure we will have at least 2 Monday night games.
Yeah.
Or 2 primetime games, Sunday night, Monday night. So the Miami Dolphins, they will have their schedule that is kind of tricky, night game on a Sunday, night game on a Monday, morning game on a Sunday, Black Friday game. That's kind of a tricky little schedule there, but it puts you in prime time all the time, every single game.
Yeah, no, that's true. And hello to Ender, and hello to the Mad Max in the chat. If you guys want to hit us up on the live chat is open. Alex Donno alongside Troy Stradford here on the Extra Yard. So, I don't think we've spoken since Aaron Rodgers had his press conference and was officially introduced to the New York Jets, and he seems to want to bring all of his receivers and buddies from Green Bay. So it's like
His cousins, his family members, his
well, his
buddies
family
from
members
high
hate him, but
school.
just just the cousins. Yeah, but it's kind of funny because it's like Rodgers, wanted to get out of Green Bay because he didn't have enough weapons, and now, I want to bring all my Green Bay weapons to me with the New
Right,
York Jets. But
right.
I do look at the Jets. They're obviously a big wild card this year because they had a tremendous defense and they've got skill position talent. They just didn't have
Yes.
consistent enough quarterback play. And when Zach Wilson was playing quarterback, he was like actively working against them, right? Not for them.
Right.
So it's, you have to wonder, like, you can still kind of pencil in the Bills as division favorites. The Dolphins, though, are nipping at their heels. And then, if Aaron Rodgers, who I didn't think played great last year at 39 years old, if he continues to drop off, then you have to wonder what the Jets are going to look like this year.
I go back to Aaron Rodgers in the game that I could remember. I was traveling to Tampa, so I'm listening to the game on the radio, and then I eventually saw the highlights. He may not have played well throughout the entire game, but he played well against the Miami Dolphins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I sit there and say, Aaron Rodgers could still make the throws that he needs to throw. And the New York Jets, with him coming into that organization, this is the connection I like to make. Aaron Rodgers has taken everyone's attention span to another level in that locker room, in that organization. Everyone, coaches, players, himself, it's a fresh start, right? And I'm sitting there saying, Aaron Rodgers could still get things done. He was complaining about not having a lot of weapons on his side. Well, he has some young talent up there at the wide receivers position for the New York Jets. And earlier in the year, or last year, going back to last year, whenever the Miami Dolphins would play a quality team, I'd be like, nice, okay, let's go. Because there is a difference when you prepare. I don't know if it's different on the coaches, but I believe it is. But it is a different week of preparation. So when the Miami Dolphins are getting ready to play against Patrick Mahomes, against Aaron Rodgers, right? Against Josh Allen, the guys in the secondary, the linebackers, everybody, the defensive line, they're sitting there, they're getting ready to play. Like, there is no, you're talking to, you tell your girlfriend or your wife, you take care of the tickets. I don't even want to get involved in that. Like, I'm getting focused on what I got to do this week. And so if it is true that the Miami Dolphins technically, percentage-wise, have the toughest schedule of any other team in the National Football League this year, I'm sitting there saying, I love that. That means that team will be, you got to stay healthy, of course, but that team will be more focused, better prepared on a weekly basis, and they're going to play football because they know if they're not, they don't have a good chance of winning that football game. There are sometimes you could slip into a game, the Houston Texans a year ago, you could sit there and say, all right, they're not really that good. So, I could play around a little bit. I don't have to be as zeroed in. Yeah. And that's just human life. You know what I mean? And so I like this, Donald. I like how it's setting up. Just got to protect Tua. That's all. You just got to protect Tua.
I know tonight, Troy and I are both going to be watching a lot of sports this evening. I'm going to have two screens fired up tonight, Troy, because we've got Miami Heat trying to close out your stinking New York Knicks tonight in 5. And we got the Florida Panthers trying to – you think they will? Okay, we'll get into that. The Florida Panthers are trying to close out the Toronto Maple Leafs in a sweep. So, Troy, I'm looking on the Prize Picks mobile app right now. And guys, make sure if you haven't signed up yet at Prize Picks, I don't know what you're doing with your life. It's so much fun, and it's fully legal in the state of Florida and most states in these great United States of America. PrizePicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app, and use our code 5. That's FIVE, and they're going to match your first deposit up to $100. You can get $100 in free play money with our code FIVE. You know, Troy, I got to tell you, I'm thinking about taking an over on one of the New York Knicks players, because this is back at MSG, a do or die elimination game. You know,
there's only one New York player you better bet on, and that's the guard,
Jalen Brunson.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, because I'm actually surprised. 25.5 is his over under. I'm thinking of going. I think he had 30 the other night. I'm thinking of going more, because you'd figure if the Knicks have any chance, Jalen Brunson's got to go off for 30 again. Right. I'm going more.
You cannot bet on any other Knicks player right now. Knicks, they're not on the Miami Heat's level. And listen, I'm a diehard Knicks fan from when I grew up in Jersey. There were no New Jersey Nets. It was all about the Knicks on Channel 3 or 9 or whatever it was. And I look at that team and I sit there and say, they just can't do it. But there's one guy that's a baller, and that's Brunson. So I kind of like your bet.
Yeah, and that's what you do, guys. When you're on Prize Picks, you select 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, and you predict if they're going to go over or under their stat projections. And you can select 3 NBA players tonight, 3 NHL players. You can mix and match your selections. You know, this is a little bit of a trickier one. Jimmy Butler, 27.5 points is the over or under. I could like, to me, 27, and he had 27 points in game 4, you know, tonight, game 5. So I could see like 27 seems like a pretty perfect number there. So whether he goes over or under that is going to be interesting. Bam Adebayo scored in the 20s last time out, but he can sometimes be a frustrating offensive player.
Be up or down.
His number is 17. So I don't know, Troy. I think he had 23 the other night. With 17, I may go slightly over. I think Bam can get 20 tonight.
That's a tough call right there. It's funny, Donald. You know, my belief when it comes to the numbers that they place on all of these guys, if they had placed 25 on Jimmy Butler, I still sit there and go, you know, if they place 20 on Bam, I go, So whatever you choose, do it. But I love the app. I love placing my bets on it, and I have a good time with it.
Now, I'm looking at Panthers Maple Leafs tonight. Here's one where I'm definitely taking the over. Sergei Bobrovsky, over 29.5 saves tonight, because the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to be crashing the net.
They're going to be firing at that net.
It's desperation. I figure, my Russian brother, Sergei Bobrovsky, you know, I like to stop a lot of shot here. Yes, Troy, I stay in the net, you know. Bobrovsky like to turn away a lot of shots. So, like, the Maple Leafs could score 4 or 5 goals, and Bobrovsky would still probably have more than 29.5 saves, because they're probably going to put like 35, 40 shots on net tonight. So I like Bobrovsky over 29.5 saves.
You combining those two?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll combine that with my NBA selections.
Yeah, that might be a nice one.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with the Panthers right now. I'm impressed.
Oh my God. You know, it's funny because, like, they're an even bigger story, I think, than the Heat, because they were down 3-1 against the best regular season team ever in the first round, and they came back and won. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, the Bruins here, they had the best all-time ever record during the regular season for a hockey team in the NHL. And to be up 3-1 against the Panthers, and for the Panthers to come back, that's a big story right there. Big story.
Absolutely.
I got a Panther jersey in my closet there. I might like.
Look at you.
One of them throwbacks from when they played at the old Miami Arena. I got one of those.
Oh,
when they used to throw the rats on the ice and everything. The fake rats.
One thing I hate, because I used to have one of those rubber rats, like, from the old days, and because they sometimes they sell like new ones at like the team store, but I had one from 96, and I don't know where it ended up. It's gone. I do have like a commemorative puck from the NHL Stanley Cup Finals that year, Panthers versus Avalanche. I've had that, since 96 kind of stowed away somewhere. But man, I used to have that rat, and I don't know what happened to it. But long story short, go to prizepicks.com or the PrizePicks mobile app. Use our code 5 FIVE to sign up. We are also brought to you by You Break Wheel Fix, and welcome back to our friends and sponsor at You Break Wheel Fix. I was thinking about them the other day because I got a little too close to a curb, Troy, and I thought maybe I had some curb rash, but yeah, it wasn't so bad. But if I
did what I did.
What'd you do? Oh yeah, you had that recently, right?
Yeah, it's about that big of a mark, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that either. At You Break Wheel Fix, though, they're there for you. They're there for Troy. They're there for me and all of you guys. The complete automotive wheel solution. Ever parked too close to the sidewalk curb? You Break Wheel Fix specializes in the repair of damaged wheels from bends, cracks, curb rash. Are your wheels faded or peeling? You don't need to replace them, as You Break Wheel Fix can refinish them to like new, offering complete refinish options through powder coating, matching, and polishing. You Break Wheel Fix is the answer to all of your wheel needs. And if you're just looking to give your ride a new look, You Break Wheel Fix also offers many car customizing options, such as new custom wheels. You can get them done in Miami Dolphins colors, Heat colors, White Hot, Heat Vice colors, Miami Hurricanes colors. Yeah. They also do performance upgrades, window tinting, and suspension modifications. Located just south of Aventura, you can reach Mark and his staff at 305-748-0112 or online at youbreakwheelfix.com. They're really active on social media at You Break Wheel Fix. So shoot them a DM on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter to get an estimate in just minutes. And you should follow them on Instagram because they send out a lot of cool pictures of cars that they've customized their wheels, a lot of Dolphin colors. You see those turn up every now and then, Troy. And speaking of the Miami Dolphins, we can both agree, and we can all agree that, Miami Dolphins' success in 2023 depends a lot on Tua staying healthy. But then the other question is, have the Dolphins done enough to fortify that offensive line, right? Because they didn't go out and get a right tackle, which a lot of us think that they need. They didn't address that area early enough, in my opinion, in the NFL draft or at all in the NFL draft. And so I was reading this quote from DolphinsWire.com. This is actually taken from The Athletic. One of these anonymous NFL execs who are always so chatty, the anonymous execs, they told The Athletic's Mike Sando their whole thing talking about the Dolphins hinges on what they get from the quarterback. They have enough to score points if they have a quarterback who can operate the offense. Their Achilles heel is their offensive line, and that's very limited. And because of it, whoever is standing back there gets hit. And this particular quarterback is not going to hold up, he said. So, that's what you got to wonder.
All good points. I mean, that's the obvious, right? And I digress, and I apologize to all my former offensive linemen, but out of every position in professional football, I'm not saying the easiest, but the offensive line, to me, yes, you have to have athletic ability, but it's more about technique. So what we will get out of the Miami Dolphins offensive line, they brought in a new offensive line coach. His scheme of how they block, is Tua going to get hit? Like, will this guy end up being right? Tua's going to get hit. The question is, will Tua be able to get up? You cannot go through a season without having your quarterback get sacked. I don't know, what 10, 15, 20 times? He's going to get sacked. The question, that doesn't mean that the O-line didn't hold up.
Right.
That means that the defense, because like Mark Clayton used to always say, hey, this guy's on the other side of the ball. Like, get paid just as much money as I do or we do, and they're damn good on that side, and they're going to make plays. So they're going to hit Tua. The question is not about, are they talented enough to hold up? It's if they are technique sound enough to keep him from being blasted, blindsided, or anything like that. And if he's going to get up. This is all about Tua. and his head. Can he get up from taking a hit? He cannot. Listen, he has some ugly collisions with the turf, with the ground last year. Right? It wasn't like people were like blasting him in the head. He had these awkward falls, tackles, where the ground was actually beating him up. And I'm sitting there saying, can you correct that? We all know the story. He took some jiu-jitsu or whatever it is to see if he could fall better. He has to be more aware, more alert, and live to beat you on the next play. If you see it coming, get your ass down and line up and try and beat him on the next play. If it's third down, hey, punt that thing away and you get them on the next series. So it's not about this guy that put that report out there. He absolutely, at the end of the season, he could sit there and say, see, I told you. Okay, I told you.
He's right either way, right? Because if Tua stays healthy and the offense lights it up, I told you. Or if he gets hurt, I told you.
He played both sides.
Great point.
Credit to him.
Yeah.
Credit to him. Right?
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. Well, listen, I always enjoy spending time with Troy and spending time with everybody. And if you're looking for another place to get some action on tonight's games, Florida Panthers Game 4, looking for the sweep against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Miami Heat looking for the gentleman's sweep against the New York Knicks tonight at Madison Square Garden. Both South Florida teams, 8 seeds, are in commanding leads in their series. Go figure. Make sure you guys check out betteredge.com, BETTOR edge.com. Use our code 5RSN, and they're going to give you a $20 sign-up bonus just for showing up. And Better Edge, it's really brilliant because you can bet on games fully legally in Florida because it's not a sports book. It's a social platform. They make their money through advertisements on the website, and you're betting against other people. So you're putting up your money not against the house or the book. You're putting up your money against other people on the site. So it's pretty darn brilliant the way that they came up with that. BetterEdge.com. 5RSN is our code word. Troy Stradford, it's good to have you back, my friend. Anything you want to plug or shout out?
Yeah, I want to remind people, enjoy the Miami Heat as they keep advancing in the playoffs. They're going to knock off my Knicks. Enjoy the Panthers. But again, take a look at the calendar. It is May.
Yeah.
NFL training camps open up in July. We're not that far away. This year is already flying by.
2.5 months.
We'll be talking about training camps.
Well, and even before that, Troy, we'll be talking about mini camp and
all of that good stuff.
Oh yeah. So I love it. Yeah. Everyone make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, support all the great programming on 5 Reasons Sports, and of course, support 3 Yards Per Carry. They host the Extra Yard, the audio feed on their channel. It's the bomb. They are the best Miami Dolphins podcast on planet Earth. So make sure you check out Alfredo, Simon, and Chris on 3 Yards Per Carry. You can get the audio version of this show there, video version on 5 Reasons Sports YouTube. We will talk to you again next time on the Extra Yard. See ya.